Hey everybody, welcome to Fire and Flavor. I am Matt, and in this episode we are talking to Papa Caps. So we're going to talk about how he got started, where he wants to take it, and what flavor you feel means. So stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome to Fire and Flavor. I'm with Luke from Papa Caps, Papa Cap himself. How you doing today, man?
Doing great. Doing great. And yourself?
Good, man. Thank you for coming on the show. Happy to finally have you. We finally did it, dude. So you're having a good day, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for
Hell
sure.
yeah. Let's keep it rolling, man. So I guess we can just hop right into it. How did you get into making hot sauce? How did you start this rather?
Um, so the long story is when I was a little kid, I lived with my grandparents, my dad, and my aunt. And my aunt was about 14 years old, and she loved playing pranks on me. So I was this little fat kid, and she would try to find, and I would eat just about anything, and she would try to find the hottest thing that she could get me to eat. And we would have like hot pickle eating contests. I was like 5 years old. I was happy because I was eating something, and she was happy because she got to see the results of it. But then fast forward to probably around 2019. Um, Prior to 2019, I've always liked to garden. I garden some of the weirdest things that I can find. Like I do black tomatoes and dragon tongue beans and all that kind of stuff. So of course I had to have the hottest pepper in the world at the time growing, and it was right as COVID hit, and I was growing this Reaper plant, and it just got huge. And this is a story that a lot of the hot sauce makers have. But I asked my friends what I should do with this because I wasn't dumb enough to eat a regular pod, at least at that time, and and so they told me to make a hot sauce, and I was like, all right, I'll make you guys a hot sauce. Bringing back kind of that same theming that my aunt used to do to me. I was making a prank Reaper sauce, and so I made that. And when we were able to visit each other again and pass things across the driveway, I started passing my hot sauce across the driveway. And instead of it being really a prank sauce, they absolutely loved it. For about 2.5 years, they pushed me to start this company. I was very hesitant at first, but that they pushed me, and when I came out with the stuff, things just started taking off.
That's awesome, man. I love that it started with your family and then you kind of just brought it in the childhood. And also, I love that you mentioned that you are a gardener. I also am a gardener and I love growing all the weird shit. Any weird pepper I can find, any weird tomato I can find. I have like Brad's atomic grapes growing in my garden right now, Cherokee purples, and then tons of weird chili plants, some KSLS. I don't know if you ever heard of that, King Star Lemon Starburst. Yeah, I've had some of those, some Pop Primos, like, I could go on, the list goes on, but
Mhm.
I'm glad that we have that in common. And I find that to be something that a lot of, you know, hot sauce makers have in common is they all kind of started by, one being a kid that could just tolerate heat,
Yeah,
and two, being into gardening and just being like, what do I do with all these chilies? I don't want to eat them. They're
yeah.
hot. It's kind of fun, man. On your site, you mentioned that you like to chase adrenaline and you like experimenting with peppers. And I can see that because I have four of your hot sauces in front of me. Um, what what really like kind of settled it in? I know you said that like your friends kind of pushed you towards doing this, but what was like the final like, all right, I have to do this? Like what really drove you to start Papa Caps?
So when prior to doing all the hot sauce stuff, I was really big into these games called ARGs, alternate reality games.
Mhm.
And for anybody who's listening that doesn't know what those are is that they're games that are based in real time, and they kind of blend reality together. So like the cast members of the game are interacting with you on a day-to-day basis as if like it was their same day. Um, I really love that stuff. So much so that the people who made Pokemon Go, they had Niantic Ingress beforehand. And I was one of the biggest contributors to that. And they actually had me come out to San Francisco for a special event for them. But I liked all the way that they got into your head and the way that they made you feel. And that's something that I've always wanted to do, and I incorporate into my company. So I'm not just a hot sauce company. I love my hot sauces and everything, but there's so much more once you start peeling past the layers. Um, I like to get in people's heads, and everything that I do has a story behind it. There's a purpose behind it. So every single one of my sauces has a specific story and a purpose behind it. And yeah, that's definitely what sets me apart. I'm not just a sauce company trying to sell you my sauces, which are delicious, but I'm trying to get you involved in our story.
That's really cool. So you really wanna make it more of an experience
Mhm.
altogether. That's super cool. And yeah, you do I can tell you have a story for everything because like, I've looked on your Instagram, obviously, that's how I hit you up, but, like, you've kinda, like, turned yourself into this, like, AI version of yourself where you're like steampunked out. It's super funny. It's super cool, man. I that's one of like that's what really actually caught my attention besides making sauces and stuff is like, oh, this guy is a character. There's a story behind it. That's so cool. When did you start doing that whole character thing?
Well, that character that you saw is kind of like I consider him my alter ego. I'm more of an introvert. I've always been more of a quiet kid, um, and that doesn't make for a very good salesman. So uh, I always say that Papa Caps comes out of me when I am behind the booth. He is this steampunk ringmaster type person. Um, Meets like the most interesting man in the world. That's how I kind of describe him. And the story behind everything, I'm still me. I'm still just Luke. Um, but uh, there is other characters just like me um, in alternate dimensions. It's really weird. Um, but yeah, there's an AI version. There is a spiritual version. There's a steampunk version. Um, and then there's me. So yeah, as the years go on, more and more is going to be coming out on the, behind the scenes of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it is cool. My alter ego, he's very outspoken, um, and it's not hard for him to talk to people at all.
I like that, man. I actually think that's really cool. So please keep doing it.
Oh, for sure.
It like caught my attention, and I'll be real, dude. The first time I saw it with like the steampunk hat on and stuff, you actually have that hat, I think, right?
Mhm.
Or one like it. Um, I thought that was a real video at first. I was like, wow, this guy is a really good commercial for this hot sauce company. And then I watched another one, like, oh, it's like you arguing with yourself on a little TV set. It's kind of funny too.
Yep.
Like, oh, it's so good. It's very different, man,
Thank
and
you.
that's in a good way. I like that. Adds a lot of character, and I really appreciate it when companies try to add a little character to what they're doing, and I think every company I've talked to has so
Very
far. Um, so back to your sauces and stuff, man. What was the first sauce you made?
first sauce I made you have with you. It's called Sweet Reaper.
Oh, this guy.
Yes. So Sweet Reaper is the one that I made during COVID time with my Reaper plant. It's really cool because I was really getting into smoking and stuff, like with my smoker during that period of time. I got one for Father's Day, and I decided to smoke my Reapers. And when you smoke the Reaper, something really weird happens. It tastes like a Parmesan cheese. So yes, you're gonna taste that once you try that sauce. Um, it's great for pizza. It's great for eggs. It's great for nachos. It's got that really nice smoky cheesy flavor. But anyway, so like when I came out with that and was passing around, all my friends absolutely loved it except for one, which was too hot for him. So I had to create something for him as well. So then I created hickory jalapeno, which you also have.
Sure.
Hickory jalapeno is not very hot. That's my International Flavor Award winner. Um, and I made that so that he would have something to try as well. Just a little tingle on your tongue. It's kind of like a backyard barbecue.
That's fun.
Mhm.
Oh, that's really cool, man, and that kinda goes to what I always say to people, there's a hot sauce for everyone out there, whether you like hot or not. There's definitely something that you're willing to suffer just even a little bit for, right? Because spice is only temporary. So
Yeah.
it's like, you could have something that tastes super good, but it's also super hot. You're like, oh, I can't get enough of it. Or even just something mild. Like I know plenty of people that they cannot handle any heat at all. And then they're like, oh, this one's actually really good. It's really mild. I have a few sauces like that. Um,
And the cool thing about that one is you can use quite a bit of it. So if you want that sweet, smoky flavor, in like Sweet Reaper, you can only use a couple drops at a time. So you can only get that small amount of flavor out of that sauce, unless you're a pepperhead and you can really handle that heat. But that hickory jalapeno, you can slather that on and get that
mm,
nice sweet flavor.
dude, I was straight up gonna eat a spoonful of each of these or two. That's so cool. So how'd you come up with the name Papa Caps? Is like blah blah cat, like Papa
Not at
Cat?
all. Nope. A lot of people will say that, and we do have a pretty big NRA following. But Papa Caps, what that stands for is Papa is the father, and Caps is capsaicin, so the
Okay.
father of spice. Um, in the mythos, Papa Caps is kind of like the essence of excitement, or kind of like a Loki type character. Um, so yeah, he's like the spirit of spiciness.
That's funny. I thought both things. I had to make sure, man, because it could go one way or the other, right?
It could, it definitely could. But yeah,
So,
so
so what were some of the hurdles that you came across when you were starting this business? Was it like getting a kitchen or
I'll
like
tell
what?
you what. I mean, the stuff that we have to go through to become legit, and I always wanted to do everything correct. Because the hot sauce community is very um, particular about accepting you if you're not. They call the people who make that kind of stuff like tub sauce or sink sauce or something like that. Um, and I know when I was still doing cottage food when I first started, and as I said, I was doing everything by the book, and I had my website split out so that you could only order it and from Illinois, and it would block you if it was outside of Illinois. And I did have another sauce maker try calling me out, um, and he emailed me and was like, "You're not doing things right." And I was like, "Look, these are all the rules and regulations that are in Illinois. You cannot get it outside. You can try placing an order now. You will not be able to get it. It is legal here in Illinois. Here's what I have." But also, here's what I respect you because I knew that person and I did respect him very much. And I was like, this is where I'm at in my process to get that going. It is in the works. I'm just not there yet. That's why I'm not selling outside of Illinois. And then he was extremely impressed. I think one because I knew who he was, and two uh, because I was really getting everything completed. Um, Fast forward a couple months after that, he actually went on to a podcast, a very popular hot sauce podcast, and was talking about. They were talking about people who make tub sauce, and he actually didn't bring my name up, but he did say he was like, but we got to be careful on who we're ripping apart right now because some of those people are actually doing things by the book, and we all started off kind of doing things under the table and that kind of stuff, and we had to get our stuff together. Um, so that was a nice little wink and nod to me, and I appreciated that. And I celebrated with him once I did get my licensing to go across state lines, and he bought a couple bottles, and yeah, it was really good. And now I have my kitchen, and I have my licensing, and I can go pretty much anywhere I want.
That's awesome, man. It almost started like it was a little gatekeepy at first for you, but then it opened up the gates once they're like, oh, he's doing what he can within his limits. And I mean,
Exactly.
we all have to, man. Whether you're making tub sauce or whatever, you're making it at home and giving it to your friends and not selling it. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Oh
That's
no,
like cooking a meal and hooking your friends up with,
oh, for
a
sure.
portion. But yeah, the states are particularly difficult to get things going, man. Selling food is a big deal. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it and a lot of
Oh yeah.
rules you have to follow. So, like,
It's not easy to figure out what you
no,
need to do either.
no.
I was lucky that I belonged to a hot sauce group on Facebook called For the Love of Hot Sauce, and there was a guy named Ted Tio's there, and he owns Grumpy Dad Hot Sauce Company, and he told me step by step what I needed to do. If I wouldn't have had him, I would have been completely lost, because navigating the FDA website and getting process authority approval and what kind of licensing you do need to get. You need to get a retail license. You need to get wholesale sale license, that kind of stuff. And what classes you need to take. We need to take a minimum of 3 classes here in Illinois. So yeah, just getting that stuff told to me what I needed to get done versus me going out searching was a huge help.
Yeah, a lot of those rules aren't very cut and dry and clear. I was trying to do hot sauce company a few years back. I'm gonna get back to it sooner, but I had like a stack of paperwork, probably like that
Oh yeah.
thick, and I did comb through it, and we pretty much had everything in place except for getting the licensing class done, like the food safety class, and then a kitchen. That was it. But those are very expensive things to rent out. If you don't have the funds right on hand to do it, then kind of boned. They want you to be there X amount of hours a month here. It's a whole thing, man. So I just kind of put it on the back burner for now myself. But I really admire people like you that kind of go the whole way, dude. It's like you start small and then you kind of take these little steps and go further. Did you like start by selling your stuff at farmers markets or?
I started my
Yeah.
cottage food, so I would make it in my house and um, follow all the regulations for that. Had my cottage food license and my sampler's permit and all that kind of stuff. Um, and so I did my first market, and I think it was day 3 that I did it. And a buyer from Jewel came up to me and gave me their information and wanted me to start selling at Jewel, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's awesome." A little intimidating, but that's awesome. I said, I don't have my kitchen or anything." And she's like, "Well, start working on that because we want to start selling it." And so I was talking to them, and they were telling me that they wanted me to start off with 180 cases.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, I don't think that's gonna happen in my little 5-gallon pot." Um,
Right.
so yeah, that kind of fell through. And plus, I have a day job as well. The hot sauce company is my side hustle. Um, Sometimes I spend just as much time as I do my day job, but so yeah, um, that was a little bit much for me. And then I started learning about gross margins and all that good stuff, what you actually need to be making. And for example, like this last weekend, not last weekend, 2 weekends ago, Tony's grocery store. A buyer from them came up to me and asked if was interested in doing some distribution with them. And I said, "You're a distributor?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I was like, my gross margins aren't high enough right now to start working with you." And I think that was the first time she's heard that from a hot sauce company, because I straight out told her no, instead of being like, "Oh, let me see what I can do." No, I know what I need to do to make it through the distribution system, and I'm just not there yet. So yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah, man. Well, it seems like you're creating a lot of attention towards your company and it's definitely moving in the right direction. But it's also very mature of you to know to say no, because it's just not realistic for you right now. And, instead of putting too much stress and pressure on yourself where you're not even sure if you can handle it, you're just like, no, I'm going to make my way there. It's really cool, man. That's super. I'm super impressed by that. Super, mature of you to do that. Honestly, a lot of people kind of just jump into it. And they're like, I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
They stress themselves out. I've had people tell me that they've gotten huge orders like that, or like 1,200 bottles or something.
And
And they're
if they
like,
can handle that, more power to them.
yeah,
I know
absolutely.
what I'm capable of. I'm
Absolutely.
right now at the beginning of the summer. Summer season is always our busiest.
Mhm.
Between my day job and this job, I mean, I don't get a day off. I have 3 new sauces coming out on top of the duality sauce that's coming out, and or that came out. Um, and I have it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, bro. So what was like one mistake you made early on that taught you a lesson that you still kind of follow today?
That when I was reading through the questions, and that one's a really hard one for
What's
me.
iron one?
I don't really think that I've had a mistake that I've learned from. Um, I, I I mean, the canned answer would be I do try to do some of these hot food eating challenges, and um, my advice to everybody, and I preach this, is make sure that you eat before you do these hot food eating challenges. And you know, I got really excited because my business coach and me had a bet to see if I could get to 5,000 followers on TikTok um, by July. And so one of the things that I was doing was I was taking a shot of hot sauce a day until and it would get progressively hotter until I got to 5,000. And I wound up doing it a lot faster than we expected. And to celebrate, I did a shot of Last Dab, and I was really excited. Didn't think to take my own advice, and then did the shot of Last Dab and took that out. I was fine after the video, but 30 minutes in, I started getting the capsaicin cramps and
Oh,
had to
yeah.
in the bathroom. And I even got a little video of that too, just to show people what it was like. A couple seconds. Oh, it was painful, but yeah. So as I said, that would if that moment wouldn't have happened, I would say that eating before you do a hot food eating challenge. But yeah, I failed.
I definitely agree with that. I what last dab was it? I just out of
Apollo.
curiosity. Apollo, I love that one. That's actually the first one I ever tried. I
Mhm.
love that. It's hot. But I was gonna say, I have a funny story that's kind of similar to that. There is a New England hot sauce festival here
Mhm.
where I live in New Hampshire every year. And I went to the very first one, and I'm going again this year. I'm actually going and recording for my show this year, which is super cool. I'm so excited. Um, but I went and they had a wing eating contest up on the stage, and people were eating them. Dude, I haven't really eaten anything that day. I just been like taking little sips of hot sauce. Nothing too crazy hot, but anyways, a bunch of people tapped out on the bomb. And after that contest, they're like, "We have extra Da Bomb wings." It was actually Dark from Heat 101. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
Mhm.
He's handing out wings, and I grabbed one, and I ate it, and I was fine eating it, but, like, I had, like, the tears and the boogers and all that awful shit, and, eh so, basically what happened is I got over it, and I'm it's, like, the end of the day, I'm driving home, and it's a little bit of a bumpy ride, and I just feel the bomb churning in my stomach, dude, and my friend's sitting next to me in the car blabbing away out of excitement. I was like, "Bro, I'm sorry. You gotta shut up. I can't talk to you right now." Like, my stomach is killing me. And finally get home is like a 35-minute drive. I opened the door and I just barfed all over my sidewalk. Just because, not because of the heat or anything, just because I didn't eat anything that day except for like that basically. So like, listen, guys, if you're gonna eat hot shit, eat something beforehand.
Good
Take it from
full
us.
stomach, and I've been told a spoonful of peanut butter right before you do it.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea. Um, and, mango juice helps kill heat too. I don't know
Oh,
if
I
you
didn't
knew
know that.
that. Yeah, it's actually really good for, like, if you're overwhelmed on your tongue or the back of your throat, drinking some mango juice will help a lot.
Give it a
Milk
shot.
doesn't help as much. You can
No.
also drink too much milk and that'll make you barf, so, I don't know. Whatever, pick your poison, but so how did your friends and family kind of respond to you starting this business that I'm assuming very positively?
Well, yeah, they're always very supportive. Now, my wife can't really handle heat, and
Mm.
she doesn't really like the hot sauce company because I have to make her taste everything. Um, and since she can't handle heat very well, um, yeah, she kind of cringes a little bit because there's a lot of the lower heat stuff that I can't even feel the heat on anymore. Uh,
Right.
my daughter went on a take your niece to work day at Kraft Heinz. Her aunt works for Kraft Heinz, and she got me this habanero ketchup, and she was all excited. She's like, "Is it spicy, Dad? Is it spicy?" I'm like, "I can't taste the heat, but the ketchup's really good, honey." Yeah, so like a lot of the things, especially now that I'm trying to build myself up to a higher tolerance. I still don't have a great tolerance, but higher tolerance to where I can actually taste the flavors and like the last dab and my three dog dare and that kind of stuff. Um, now that I'm there, I really can't feel the heat on some of the lighter stuff.
That's funny. Do you like do taste testing with your friends also, or is it just like your wife's stuck with it?
She's stuck with it. Yeah, it's like she was doing one for me yesterday. Uh, I was trying to get her to see if she could taste the difference between two different sauces that I made, and she definitely did taste the difference. One she said was a lot hotter, and I couldn't tell. I couldn't feel the heat, and she waited a month before she actually did that one.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny, man. You gotta get her to build your tolerance up, man.
That's what I keep on saying. My daughter's trying to do the same thing, but she still doesn't like heat all that much either. But she loves selling, so
Oh, that's cool. So you get your kid involved with it too?
oh yeah, she's gone to the farmers markets with me. She gives out samples. Um, I mean, she's willing to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go down to Kankakee, and that's an hour drive, and just hang out behind the booth, hand out samples, and I'll describe it to them. She loves it.
That's a lot of fun, dude. I would love to do that someday myself, man.
Yeah,
That's really cool, man. I'm glad that you have like such a supportive backbone
yeah,
for
for
that.
sure.
It's really cool, man. So I have, like I mentioned, I have four of your sauces here, and we mentioned two of them, the hickory jalapeno and the sweet reaper. But I
Okay.
also have two other ones. We have the Caribbean lime,
Hmm.
and also the hatchet,
Yeah.
which reminds me of that like horror movie or the book Hatchet. Um, Anyway, what I was gonna say is they all vary in heat level. I think 3 out of 4 I have are medium. So
Hmm.
you do definitely try to, like, cater towards everybody I see, but, the Sweet Reaper is obviously super hot.
Yep.
So, like, how do you balance the heat with the flavor when you're coming up with these sauces? Because I know you have, like, a couple more coming up, and also you have the duality pack.
So yeah, the way that I come up with the heat, as I said, Sweet Reaper was made because it was my prank sauce, my original prank sauce, and then hickory jalapeno because I needed something not so spicy for my friend. Caribbean lime came around. It was almost a mistake. As I said, every single one of my sauces has a story. Caribbean lime came around as a mistake. I was trying to do a. I was not a chef when I first started this. There was a lot of experiments, and I'm not the type of person like if you talk to Gindo, who helped me with or who did duality with me, he says he can take the ingredients and think about them in his head with the different amounts, and he can tell what it's going to taste like when it's done. I can't do that. I throw things in a pot until they start tasting good. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then I try to recreate it, which can make scaling up a little bit difficult. Um, but so Caribbean lime, I wanted to make um, a cilantro lime sauce. Um, and no matter what I did, I could not get the cilantro flavor to come through. Now knowing what I know, if I wanted to try to do it again, I would put it in right at the end, and I would put in a decent amount so you could taste it. But as it cooks, because we have to have it at least 180 degrees before we can start bottling,
Alright.
and as it cooks, those aromatics and the flavor from cilantro burns up really really quick. So you got to get it bottled really really quick right after you put it in, um, and then so it wasn't working for me. So I decided to swap the cilantro out with some garlic and a lot of garlic. Um, and it worked. It was delicious, and it now is my best seller because of that. People will buy it by the case just for their families, and they've asked me to try to sell it and got gallon sizes, and I haven't gotten the machinery for that for yet.
Wow.
Now the hatchet on the other hand is um, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, me and my family, we always take a family vacation around January because that's when sauce season is slow. I actually do shut down production. I shut down my shop. Well, I still sell online, but I shut down doing any events or anything for a good 3 months so I can have a little bit of break. Because right now I'm working 7 days a week. And that's going to be like that until September, October, December, depending on how many shows I can get into. But so I take 2 or 3 months off, and we went to New Mexico, and we went out to Albuquerque. Now I've never been to New Mexico before, and I didn't have hot sauce on my mind at all. we went out there, and I saw that absolutely every restaurant, and I kid you not, including McDonald's, makes their own in-house red and green hot sauce. And when you put them together, it's called Christmas. Um, I fell in love with the red flavor. The green flavor was still good, don't get me wrong, but I fell in love with the red flavor. And so while we were on our vacation, we went from Albuquerque down to Hatch, and I interviewed chefs. I interviewed a chef that was on top of a mountain right outside of Albuquerque, where you had to take a tram all the way up, or like a ski lift that was the glass was around. Um, it was all the way on the top of a mountain. Not a big fan of heights. So the whole time we were up there, my knees were shaking. But anyways, yeah, I interviewed them, and then every small hole in the wall or nice restaurant that we went to, I would ask, give me some pointers on how you make your Hatch chilies, your chili sauce. So we made it down to Hatch, and I got a bunch of roasted Hatch green chilies, and I brought them home, um, and we made the hatchet based on the things that I learned through from the different chefs. Um, and that became very popular. And so now I import Hatch green chili for my my taco sauce.
Awesome. I love hatch chilies, man. We get them in my work, and that time of year is always absolutely nuts because we get them by like the case, and
Hmm.
we put them in a display up in the front of our store. And the first thing you smell when you walk in is hatch chilies, and I am in absolute heaven. And yeah, it's funny that you went to New Mexico not really knowing that, dude. They're so into chilies there. It's wild. This woman that I work with actually is from New Mexico, and I bring her pretty much like a batch of chilies every time I grow them out because she's like, "I'm from New Mexico. I love these hash chilies. Give me a Carolina Reaper." She'll eat any chili I throw at her. It's awesome. It's so fun, man. You said
Nice.
you interviewed someone on top of a mountain?
Oh yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. It's right outside of Albuquerque. It's a really fancy restaurant. As I said, you have to take that ski lift up to get to it. Um, we tried driving up the way that like the food trucks would have to go up, and it was very nerve wracking. We didn't make it all the way up. It was snowing, and
Uh-oh.
like there were no guardrails on the sides of the road, and yeah, it was crazy.
That sounds scary. That's like, Mount Washington here where I live. It has the coldest temperatures in the world, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
Like, you can drive up there, but it's, like, treacherous. You actually they sell bumper stickers that say, "This car drive Mount Washington," or something,
Oh, wow.
or "Climb Mount Washington." But, so I get it, dude. Uh, you rode a ski lift up? Do you have your, like, feet dangling and shit? Like,
No, it wasn't one of those. It was
oh,
enclosed, and there was about 50 people in this lift
uh,
on the cables, and you went up the side of the mountain. Like if that those cables would snap, you would be no more. Um,
yeah.
it was quite crazy.
That's fucking crazy, man. So back to like your development, I guess, because Hatch chilies have a huge part of this hatchet. Were
Hmm.
there any like failed experiments aside from your like cilantro endeavor there that you kind of, learned something from, or was that like the
Yeah.
big one?
No, I mean we have had a couple with different ingredients. As I said, I wasn't a chef when I first started. I'm working on one right now that I'm not going to go too deep into, but within that one, there's coconut cream, and when you're cooking it, it's very viscous. But when it cools, it gets very hard. And so, yeah, I had to figure that one out the hard way because I would make a decent sized batch, 2 or 3 cases for a test batch, and it was all garbage just because the coconut cream solidified in the bottles, and that didn't help with the separation either. Um, and then another one that's going to be coming out on the 20th that I can probably say something about now. I did a collaboration with a local brewery called Miskatonic. I love their theming. They are HP Lovecraftian meets D&D, so I think that works really well with the mythos of my company. So for about a year, I've had this idea that I wanted to work with them, and finally, I got the courage to ask them if they would like to. And they're also the one who is doing the collaboration with the one with the coconut cream. But this they asked me, can we do a hot sauce as well? Because that one's completely different from a hot sauce. Um, and they were like, "Can we do a hot sauce too? Because we love hot sauce, and we would love to have a collaboration with you on that." I was like, "Yeah, we can do it one. We can do one." So they gave me their Spire IPA, their double hazy IPA, and it's got this great, almost jelly ring, orangish grapefruit flavor to it. And so they gave that to me, and they gave me another one. That one's called Spire, and they gave me a West Coast Wizard, which is more of a dry IPA. Still had that grapefruit taste, but it wasn't as sweet. And they said, play around with this. Let's see what you got. And so I played around with a little bit, and they really liked the Caribbean lime. That was their favorite out of my lineup. They wanted to do something that was similar, so what I did is I incorporated their Spire IPA, and I used sage, I used basil, um, tur- uh, 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 turmeric.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. And then, um, yeah, I used those. And what else did I put into it? I think I got the recipe over here somewhere. Oh, and the Spire beer. So yeah, the first batch was amazing, absolutely amazing that I gave them the samples out of. I loved it. When I grew up, when I made the batch bigger, I didn't realize how easy it was to get that, because the thing that I loved about it was a very clean, crisp taste. It still had that nice Caribbean um, taste to it, but that grapefruit really came out from that beer. And it's not really grapefruit that they have in the beer. It's the hops and the way that they brew it brings on those terpenes, those tannins that has that grapefruit aroma. And second, when I made the bigger batch, um, the when I cooked it, it takes longer to cook because it's a bigger batch, and it cooked off all the grapefruit flavor.
Right.
So I had to run and get more the Spire beer from them and figure out how I was going to keep that grapefruit flavor in there, because that was really the highlight, the star of that batch, that sauce. And I'm going to be submitting it this year for awards because it's too good not to. So figured that out, and we will be debuting that on June 20th at their location for their anniversary party. And then I'll be having it on the website, and that's going to be called Lich Fire Lime.
That's awesome, dude. Thanks for sharing that. I look forward to trying it myself eventually. Um, that's cool, man. I find that a lot of hot sauce companies do collabs with breweries.
Mhm.
There's like a Venn diagram that seems to cross paths. It's really cool.
That craft love
Yeah.
really making the small batch,
Yeah.
unique, unusual, blow your mind type stuff.
Yeah. No, it's fun, and, I like that you actually have hops in it because 'cause you're using a beer. There's
Mhm.
another company from, I wanna say Connecticut, maybe, Alchemy hot sauce. They use hops in their hot sauce, and it's pretty good, so I'm interested to see what you do with it, though, because it
Yeah.
seems like you're trying to, like, hold this grapefruity flavor with it.
Yep. It's very interesting. Very good.
And, you said, you're submitting it for an award. Let's talk about some of the other awards you've won. Like, pardon me if I butcher this. Is it Screaming Me or Screaming My or
Screaming Mimes. So
Mimi?
that's Steve Seabury of the New York Hot Sauce Expo. He also puts on the Portland Hot Sauce Expo, the Illinois Hot Sauce Expo, Tennessee Hot Sauce Expo. Um, I think there's one more too. I just don't remember where it's at, but he puts on the best shows, honestly. Not only do you have the 40 vendors from around the United States, and a lot of those vendors tour around with him to all these shows all across the United States. He owns High River Hot Sauce, and yeah, based out of New York. Um, Not only do we have the 40 vendors, but he has the Stage of Doom, where people just eat stupid stuff on stage. Guinness Book of World Records is there, seeing who can eat the most reapers in 60 seconds or something like that. Um, then they have Lucha Libre Wrestling in the middle of it. So
Oh,
somebody gets
yeah.
body slammed right in front of my tent, which is absolutely hilarious. It's a great time. I put on a show like every year that I go there, we do something new. Like last year, we did a challenge called Three Dog Dare, where I wrecked people before they went on the stage of doom, and they blamed me for not being able to finish what they were supposed to do. Uh, so yeah, it's always a great time. But anyways, so he has his hometown and his biggest show, the New York City Hot Sauce Expo, um, and every year he does the Screaming Mimes. It's a little bit. I wish he would publicize it a little bit more because it's actually a very prestigious award, but nobody can find it. But I mean that he does it the way that he wants to do it. What he does is he gets food critics, restaurant owners, chefs from all over New York City. And they rent out, I don't know if they rent out a place or whatnot. It looks pretty cool. It might be somebody's house. But they all meet there and people submit their hot sauces. So they're doing hundreds of hot sauces and it's a blind sample tasting with all these people. And they go through the categories and progressively get hotter. And he said, as soon as people get to the hotter category, some people will drop out, but the true uh, pepperheads and hot sauce lovers stick around for the end, even though they're eating 20 of the hottest sauces out there and blowing their faces off. But it's completely blind. And that's what I love about it. And so when you're getting your results and you're getting called off, it's not because they know who you are or because they like your label or because you're well established in the community. I'm competing against somebody who's been in the game for a month. And I'm also competing against like Ed Curry, who's from Pucker Butt, but nobody knows who anybody is. So to get that award is very uh, uh, honoring because you know that you did it because you did it, not because of who you are.
That's pretty awesome, man. That sounds prestigious in my book, and
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try to make it out to there next year for that. There's one in Long Island happening. I'm gonna go out to that in August, I think, but I know that the New York Expo is huge. I wanna check that out. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I think so I've been doing this show since February, so I'm gonna start doing tours too, I think. I wanna, like, go check out all these different expos around the country if I can.
Come out to
Um,
Illinois.
I'd love to, man. I would love to. I talked to another company from Illinois, is it Beans Hot Sauce?
Hmm.
Really nice dude, really nice dude. Um, like, cool, man. And you won the International Flavor Award?
Yeah, that was my first one. Got got it right here.
Oh,
So
there it is, the ribbon. Oh, it's like fading in now, but we got it. The
So yeah,
ribbon.
that's my Illinois. Or that's my international hot sauce award for hickory jalapeno. They have submissions from all over the world, and yeah, so we won in the spicy category. Um, very very honored to have that as my first award that I ever got. Um, my next two that I am going to be seeking out will be the Scobie Award. That's a very prestigious award out of New Mexico, and for the Fiery Food Show. And then I think I'm going to do a couple more Screaming Mimes as well. Um, Especially with this, I want Duality to go to the Scobie Awards because I think that's going to be good for the branding. I think we can do something because they have a branding category. I worked really hard on the graphics and everything for that. And then the Screaming Mimi for the um, Lich Fire Lime. Uh,
That's
I think.
awesome. I love that you have all these, like, nerdy backstories. I'm a huge nerd too, man. When you say Lich Fire, it just makes me think of the Lich King from Warcraft.
So yeah, like that's exactly. So Miskatonic, they're known for having like D&D tournaments at
Yeah,
their every Thursday, and they love D&D and they love Lovecraftian type stuff. So every one of their specialty beers that they make, they have a line called Dungeon Master, and it's a villain from Dungeons and Dragons is the name. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give you a choice of different things you want. And one of them was Lichfire Lime. I think another one was the Habanomicon, which is Hab.
nice, nice. I actually have a Necronomicon tattooed on my wrist.
Nice.
Uh,
There you go. So yeah, that was that was for that.
That's pretty awesome. You know what this is, my friend?
Nice.
Yes.
There we go.
So I want to tell you that I'm happy that I'm trying these today because I don't try hot sauce until I'm talking to the person that made it.
Mhm.
But tomorrow, what I'm doing, my friend, is I am having some friends come over. We're gonna make a shitload of popcorn chicken, and we're gonna do a hot sauce video where I call it the gauntlet, and I line up about 20 or more hot sauces with flashcards, and we roll a d20 to
Nice.
see what it lands on. So I'm happy to say I'm adding Papa Caps to my lineup for tomorrow, and your products will be in that video.
Uh,
Um, so I am too a nerd. I love fantasy stuff, Warcraft. I never played much D&D. I've always wanted to, but it's such a time commitment, man.
yeah, for sure.
And like you, man, I have a day job too. I have other obligations, so I want to do something like that. But,
Totally. Get that. I get it. Yep.
but that's cool, man. I'm glad that fellow nerds unite with hot sauce here. Um, so your motto is flavor you feel. What does that mean to you personally?
So flavor you feel when people first see it, everything, as I said, has its second meaning. So when people first see it, they think, okay, so it's spicy. You eat it and you're feeling the flavor, but that's not it at all. The flavor you feel is like, okay, when I'm out at a festival and a father and son come up to me and the father wants to do a tasting, I'll always offer. We like to make every customer as much as possible. If they don't want to do it, then they don't have to, and they can go to whatever sauce they want. But we like to take them through every single sauce that we have out on that table at the time, at least. We'll only bring about 5 or 6 sauces at a time, but we like it when we take them from the bottom, go out to the top, and they tell us when to stop. And I'll always offer to younger kid, you want to try? And sometimes some of the kids are like, yeah, I want to try. And the dad will be like, no, this is too spicy for you. And I'm like, you know what? That hickory jalapeno is really not that bad. If he can handle like a Tabasco, then he can handle this. And so the kid will take the hot sauce and the kid will make it all the way to the end. And the father is just like blown away because the end, when you hear a little kid doing it, the end is not an easy one, and you'll taste that in a minute. But they'll take it like a champ, and the look of pride on that kid's face that he has for accomplishing it, and the look of pride on the dad's face for because the kid took it on like it was nothing. That's flavor you feel. It's the flavor you feel is when somebody gets excited when they haven't seen me for a year and they come running up to my booth and want to wear my hat or the Papa Caps hat. It's flavor you feel is me sitting around the driveway with my friends trying to give them the hottest hot sauce that I made. It's that emotion that comes out of you when you're doing something unique, something that's creating a story that you can tell later on in your life.
I really love that, man. That's very profound. That's really cool. And yeah, dude, kids are very surprising, right? You would think that a lot of them would not be into heat, but some of them really,
Oh, yeah.
really go for it, dude, and it completely shocks their parents.
I have a kid at a farmer's market every year who every time he sees me, and I think he might have a parent that's a vendor there because I see him every market, and he'll come and be like, "Can I try it?" Sure, let's do it again. Let's do it again. And he doesn't buy from me, but he's got that story. He loves coming to my booth and trying my sauces. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Sometimes even just giving somebody that experience is worth not getting a sale from. He's a kid. You know what I mean? It's fun to share and see how people react to things. Do you have any like good stories of people like freaking out trying your stuff? Like,
Oh yeah,
oh, yeah.
oh yeah. So um, 2 years ago, every year at the Illinois Hot Sauce Expo, I debut a stupid hot sauce. Um, in the beginning, I wasn't able to even do it. Like I would be able to taste it just to make it, but I made it for my pepperheads. I would taste it once and that's it. So year one was when my at that time mentor, he was like, okay, Luke, you got a decent product. You're doing decent at farmers markets. The Illinois Hot Sauce Expo is coming around, and it's right in your backyard. Your cottage food. See if they'll let you in, and if you can make it there, you got something. So I was like, let's do it. Let's give it a shot. And it was expensive, but I was like, you only live once, right? So I did it, and we did awesome. And people really loved that stupid hot sauce. It was called the Four Horsemen. Uh,
Oh, so you grabbing
I've
a
kept
bottle?
a bottle of every single one of my limited edition hot sauces.
Good
So
man.
the Four Horsemen. I don't know if my camera's going to pick it up.
So hey, you can send me a picture of it later if you want. I'll pop
Okay,
it on the screen.
not a problem. So yeah, the Four Horsemen. That was my first stupid hot sauce. It had four of the hottest peppers in the world in it, and people went crazy for that. And so I was like, okay, so that limited edition thing, I got something going on there. And that really, it was a like I think 120 bottle batch, and it sold out, almost sold out at that show.
Wow.
And so next year when I came around, I'm like, I got to do this again. I got to debut it there. That's the story. It's always going to happen at that show. So the second year, I created Lethal Injection. Um, and the funny thing about Lethal
Nice.
Injection is Lethal Injection, I would serve out to people in a syringe. And
Oh,
people loved it. It really got into their heads, and they saw the syringe come out, and they would start freaking out and all that kind of stuff, and it just really riled people up. So now that is always part of my shtick when we do our seaweed hot sauce. I have the syringe, and if you see my pictures, you'll always see me holding up that syringe in those pictures. The third year, we did Three Dog Dare, and actually, I just had some of that with my lunch. But here's the closed bottle. So Three Dog Dare was my stupid hot for last year, and this is where I really wanted to get in close with my friend, or with I call them my friends, my customers. I wanted to create that bond. So we have that bond with the syringe, and they get scared and they have fun. And there were some pepper heads that would take it straight out of the syringe. I would just pour it into their mouths. Um, and but I wanted to get closer with my customers and really create that story. So I created a thing called the Three Dog Dare Challenge, and I knew I was going to lose money on it, but I didn't care because it was for my customers. Um, so yeah, we did three different challenges. The first one that I made them do was they had to go through all my sauces that were on the table. We did it in three locations. We did it in Tennessee, we did it in Chicago, and I did it in Bartlett, Illinois. Um, but they had to go through all my sauces without a problem, and then they would have to show that they're liking me on Facebook because I was going to post their stuff later. Then I would make them sign a waiver, not because I didn't think they could handle what was coming up. In fact, I'll tell you in a second that I made sure that everybody could handle it. But anyway, so the waiver was more to show them that yes, I am going to be using you on social media. You're eating something stupid. It literally said that, and I will tell you, you're eating something stupid on camera. And that really went over well when I had a bunch of cops doing it. They didn't like me saying they were doing stupid things, but whatever. But anyway, so yeah, they would sign the waiver, and then they would do the second challenge. And I had this little wooden box that had little slips of paper in it. And they would have to do something unique, something that they would never do in regular life, such as like eat my Reaper sauce or the Three Dog Dare sauce on a Rice Krispie treat.
whoa.
Doesn't sound that great, but it's absolutely delicious. You should try it. I'm telling you, it is amazing. I would have them eat a hot sauce smoothie. So they would take every single one of my hot sauces and put in a little shot glass, and they would have to down that. So that was like the second dare. The third dare was they would spin this wheel, and they could land on anything from a lucky dog, which they didn't have to do anything, and they just won a free bottle of hot sauce, or they would have to do something like what I called lethal injection as a kind of a nod and thank you to your prior. What I would do is I would take a super hot pepper and I would inject that super hot pepper with my Three Dog Dare, and they would have to eat it with a 3 minute afterburn. And
Oh,
yeah, and then when they completed it, they would get to sign my banner, my Three Dog Dare banner, and they would get a free bottle of the Three Dog Dare or whatever sauce they wanted. Um, Funny enough, a lot of people got that lucky dog, but they wanted to continue with the challenge. They wanted to spin again. Weirdest thing in the world because I would never do what they were doing. But yeah, so that was an awesome challenge where like you can see go on my TikTok and see video after video of people taking on this challenge, and they're hurting bad. And but what I was saying, I had control is as I'm watching them go through each step, I'm judging in my head on where I think their heat scale is. I'm even asking them, where they are on their heat scale. And somebody could do the lethal injection. I literally had one person who was like, "This is nothing," so he got a Reaper right away. Injected a Reaper, homegrown Reaper with this three dog dare, and they had to eat it. But then I also had a person who was just about to tap out. He was like, "I can't do this," and he got a jalapeno. So I had control on how they were going through it because I wanted everybody to succeed. That flavor you feel again, that accomplishment. Yeah, I had to give away a free bottle of sauce, but I also made customers that had a story to tell for years to come on.
That's awesome, dude. That goes back to you just making everything a total experience. I love that. I've actually like I don't think I've heard anything like that
Mhm.
since I've been doing this show. It's like, yeah, people want to connect with their customer base and more like you refer to your customers as your friends.
Yep.
I love that too, man. That's really cool. You want them to come back, but you want them to show that you actually like care as a company. You don't want like, sure, buy my thing and get out of here. It's like, hey, come back and visit me.
Want them to
You
hang
know,
out and play and have some fun.
yeah, exactly. That's so cool, man. That's super wholesome. So let's talk about that collaboration with Gindos.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. How'd that come together? And let's also talk about the duality pack.
Yeah, so I see him all the time. He's one of the largest hot sauce makers, in small batch hot sauce makers in the Midwest. He was a guy who kind of pioneered it for all of us. He's got has the longest running company that I know of that's small batch in the Midwest. He started out in California, um, and so his name's Chris, and his wife is Mary. Very friendly people. Um, and when I first started this, and I went to the Illinois Hot Sauce Expo, I expected people to be kind of cutthroat. I mean, we're that type of people. Like, if you think of people who like that challenge, that we're very competitive. Uh, but the absolute opposite was true. So everybody was super friendly. I had Mikey V from Austin, Texas saying, "Here's my phone number. Give me a call. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know what's going on, and I'll help you." And then Chris, for example, Chris Ginder, um, we met at Canal Days, which was a year ago last weekend, and he's heard of me. He's seen me around at a few places at the hot sauce expos and stuff. But and we bump into each other every now and again, but we never really talked. Um, we started talking, and he was like, if you ever want to do a collaboration, and that's what he's really big on. He does collaborations with everybody, anybody, and he does a collaboration with, and he's really good at that. So he was like, if you ever want to do a collaboration, hit me up. And I was like, I have all these ideas in my head, but the timing has to be perfect for every one of these ideas. Um, so I had an idea in my head, and I thought about it that night, and I was like, okay, I have a lot of people that come up to my booth, and they're either like, my branding is a little bit scary, especially my booth branding. I have the skulls and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of people think that my stuff is a lot hotter than it is. Now, I do have the really hot burn your face off stuff, but the first like three or four are not that hot at all. So I was like, I get a lot of people saying, I want the hottest thing you got. And I got a lot of people saying, no, 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 your stuff is going to be way too spicy for me. Ketchup makes me sweat. So I wanted to create a product that you could create your own spice level to. It would be two different sauces, and you can mix and match to create your perfect spice level. And then on top of it, when you mix them together, the flavors would meld together perfectly to create a third sauce. Um, and just through the gastronomy and the specific molecules working well together. So I thought, what a better person to do it than Chris, because as I said, he can calculate in his head. He's very calculative. And I always thought of it as like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So like Mr. Hyde, he's very chaotic and very, he's like my Papa Cap's character. He's uh, in your face, chaos, heat, blah blah. And then him being like Dr. Jekyll, he's very calculative. He doesn't always go for the hottest sauces in the world. Um, he goes for everyday sauces, but they're very complex. The ingredients lists on most of his sauces are just out of this world, and he makes a new hot sauce every week, which just blows my mind. Yes. So I was like, got this idea. I came to him the next day at the show. I was like, got this idea. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't come to him the next day at the show. I came to him at the Illinois Hot Sauce Expo. I was like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. Tell me what you think. And I told him the idea of duality. And um, he was like, I love it. Don't say anything because these things get stolen really quick. So I was not allowed to say a word about what we were doing for over a year. And we worked on those recipes, and we got incorporated him as Dr. Gindo and me as Mr. Caps. So we have the two different hot sauces, and put him in the picture, put me in the picture. And his sauce is very savory, very earthy, very mild. It's got a medium heat. It's kind of like a pickly verde.
Mm.
And then mine is more smoky and it's more hot and it's sweet and it's barbecuey. It's a lot like the Sweet Reaper, only more complex and mapley. And then when you mix them together, it creates the duality. So you get that perfect combination of sweet and heat. You get that smoky flavor, the saltiness from the Mr. Dindos, the sweetness from the Papa Caps. The garlic comes in perfectly and melds with the maple syrup that's in Mr. Caps. Um, and we call that duality. And duality also has its multiple meanings. So duality of the two sauces to come together to make something great. It's the two companies coming together to make something great. It's the sweet and the salty, the hot and the mild. It's yeah. So
That sounds awesome.
we put that together, and I did a lot of the marketing. I created my sauce. He created his. Yeah, and
That's great.
reality is something that's never been done in the hot sauce community, and I want to do a lot more of that stuff because I got them all up here. I just got to make sure they
No,
come out.
but dude, that's such a fantastic idea. And like I said, I'm gonna grab a box of that so I can have it on here.
There you go.
I wanna dabble with that. It sounded great, but for this, I just wanted to like highlight the 4 products that we have today. I felt like that would be kind of better for today. But dude, that's such an awesome idea. Do you have any like other collaborations that are coming up? Or like I know we talked about the one with the brewery, but do you have any like dream collaborations?
Yes. So one day I'd like to make one with my daughter.
That's wholesome, man. I love that. That's such a simple answer, and I completely understand it. That's so great, man.
So yeah, I
That would
think
be
that'd be really
fun.
cool. And then I have another one in mind, but I don't want to give that one away yet. That'd be a
Don't
collaboration.
you don't have to spill all the beans, man. That's great though, and I love that your daughter is so supportive of this endeavor
Mhm.
for you, man. Where do you plan on taking this next, man?
Mm, wherever the story takes me.
That's fair.
I really don't know. I have my ideas um, uh, on what it will be. I know how the things end. Well, not end, but I know how things um, play out. But new things get implemented, and then yeah, I have my final big idea that I know will be coming towards when I'm ready to tip up my hat maybe on the sales side
Mhm.
and just be on R&D.
Okay.
That's going to be pretty big. Hopefully, we'll see. Um, but yeah, it's all throughout this, like where the world takes me, what I get inspired by.
Love that, man. Keep creating experiences. I think that's really the big thing I see with you, man, is
Mhm.
keep making that customer experience and, anyone who's paying attention to you online, keep going with that experience because I'll tell you, dude, just looking through your socials, and your website has been a pretty good experience all on its own. I think it's really eye-catching, um, very, very interesting, and, the character Papa Caps is a great character, so
Thank,
I would love for you to continue doing that, man, and I think you're a really cool guy
thank you.
on top of all that. I think we can crack into trying some of these sauces finally.
Yeah.
Um, do you have a particular order? I'm gonna save the Sweet Reaper till last because it's the
Yep.
hottest, but do you have an order that you suggest?
I'll just start you off just like I do at the shows or the
Sure.
farmers market. So we'll start with off with the hickory jalapeno.
Cool.
And what I say is that one won the International Flavor Award. It's not too hot. And I made it that way specifically so you could use quite a bit and get that backyard barbecue flavor with just a tingle on your tongue. It's amazing on eggs. It's great on nachos, breakfast burritos. Yep. And yeah, anything you want to get that backyard barbecue taste to.
Awesome, man. Cool. So, yep. Like you said, we're going to start with the hickory jalapeno. All right, we're focused in there. And I'm just going to go over the ingredients real quick that are on the bottle. We got apple cider vinegar, tomatoes, bell peppers, onion, brown sugar, chipotle pepper, kosher, salt, sorry, and xanthan gum. I also really appreciate the pull tab on top.
Okay, so there's a mistake that I've made in the past that I'll never make again. The pull tab, I did get a batch of shrink capsules that did not have that, and it was horrible. It
Pain in the
was
butt,
really bad.
man. Total pain in the ass. Some people send sauce like that to me. I don't really care, dude. You know, I just cut it open, but
Yeah.
it's easier. You do not seem to excuse me, you don't strain anything. I can see really nice like pieces of stuff in here. It's nice. I like that. I have a lot of people that don't strain and I greatly appreciate it. So
Yep.
give it a good shake here and we will pull this guy open. Okay, got that. All right. All right, let's give it the old smell. Ooh, that smells really good.
Mhm.
That smokiness right up front. Mm. All
And we
right,
don't use
we
liquid smoke either. It's real.
no, no, I could tell. I mean, I would say that too. I greatly appreciate that. That's from the Chipotle. Um, wow. All right, cool. All right, we got the good old trusty spoon. Woo, woo, woo. Great consistency too, man. All right, let's see. Ooh, it's sweet. I get the smokiness, but it's not like the first thing I get out of it. I get the sweetness and the tang of the vinegar. Let's see another one. I'll let it sit on my tongue a little more. Not too hot. It is very mild.
Yeah, and I should label it as mild, but I hate to put mild on a hot sauce bottle.
That's fair. That's really good. The texture is fantastic, man. I feel everything on my tongue. It is flavor I feel. It's really good, dude. Really took me by surprise. I was expecting it to be just an overload of smoke, and it's really not. It's sweet. The smoke's there, but it's not overpowering.
Mhm.
And I do love a good jalapeno sauce. So we'll give it 3 spoons here. Oh my gosh. And it's just the coloration is beautiful. Like I said, I can see stuff in it while I'm pouring it. Let's see if I can get on my camera. Maybe not really, but I'm gonna get it in my mouth. Mm, mm, super good. Super, super good. That's very nice. That's
Thank you.
very nice. For someone not being a chef and being, I don't know flavors. This is great, man.
Thank you.
Wow.
This
And
one I'll
the
take you to is oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh yeah, no. I was gonna say, again, not hot. Anyone can enjoy that. Great table sauce, man. Great, great table sauce. Take me where are you taking me next?
Caribbean lime.
All right, we got
Caribbean lime.
Caribbean 9 with a
That's my best seller.
beautiful, beautiful yellow color.
Yes.
Beautiful,
So
beautiful.
Caribbean lime, it was, as I said earlier, it was a mistake when I first made it, and it turned out to be one of the best mistakes I've made. And it's a unique sauce. I don't think I've ever tasted anything quite like it. So it's a refreshing hot sauce. I use
Oh,
this for seafood, shrimp tacos, fish tacos, salmon. And since it is refreshing, it also goes great with a salad with a little bit of olive oil or chicken as a marinade. I'll put this on
ooh,
chicken tacos all day long.
ooh. I love chicken tacos. Oh. All right, let's go over these ingredients real quick. We got yellow peppers, so that bell sweet peppers. Yeah,
Mhm.
cool. Distilled vinegar, onion, sugar, limes, garlic. We had mentioned that earlier in lieu of cilantro. Fresh habanero, fresh habanero peppers and xanthan gum. All right. Nice good shake there. I really love the color, man.
Yeah,
It's cool. This one looks a little looser than the other one.
it is a little bit.
I like when I open a bottle of hot sauce, like these little like things inside are kind of annoying, but sometimes I'll open a bottle of hot sauce and be like, it just like
Hmm.
pops open. Wow, that doesn't smell like any. I can smell garlic,
Hmm.
slight zest from the lime.
And we use real limes too. We don't use lime juice. I
Ugh.
have to peel every single one.
Oh, it's such a pain in the ass. Good on you, man. That's a labor of love. So I talked to another hot sauce company about a month and a half ago. Nukes out of Portland, Oregon. He was telling me the story, dude. How he uh was very, very particular about lime juice and squeezing limes and
Hmm.
stuff. So he like said he brought 50 cases of limes to the co-packer, and for 8 hours he was just squeezing limes before he found out he could, just get lime juice with nothing in it, just straight up lime juice, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh my god, dude." So, kudos to you, dude. That's a lot of freaking work.
Yeah,
That
maybe
is
in
a
the future I'll have to change it up when we do the bigger batches. But I really think that the pulp from the lime and a little bit of the zest really makes this sauce.
100%, man. If you, like, peel it up and just blend it in, yeah, and the pulp's everything, man. Alright, let's give it a shot, man. This one smells really good. Again, great, great, great consistency. A little looser than the last one, but it looks awesome. I can see stuff in it still. Love that. Wow. I taste everything.
Hmm.
I taste the bell pepper first, and then I taste the lime, and then I get the garlic.
On the end, yep.
Oh, that's like weird in a good way. I don't get too much vinegar from it. Like I can tell there's vinegar in it,
Hmm.
obviously, but it's not. I want to say I've tasted more vinegar in hickory jalapeno than I do in this. The lime kind of comes in with its acidity, and it kind of contributes to that and lends you its flavors. That's
Exactly.
really, really, really nice. I don't know, man. For someone who's not a chef, you know what you're doing.
Thank you.
That's so interesting. Chicken tacos,
Yep, for sure.
chicken tacos. Tomorrow, popcorn chicken.
There you go.
Seeing where we land tomorrow. Oh man, I love all these new options I have. That's good, man. So this is your number one seller?
Yes, by far.
I can see why. It's delicious.
Hmm.
It is refreshing. That is a good way to put it. Refreshing. I could probably drink it.
Yep.
Also, I want to know there's habanero in it, but it doesn't lend me too much habanero heat.
Correct. So for that being my best seller and most unique, I needed to appeal to the farmers market type crowd, and that was not
Mm,
for the hot sauce competition or expo type crowd, um, to where they go to Sweet Reaper all day long, or my stupid hot limited edition. Um, so that one I wanted to make sure was tolerable to the the everybody from somebody who just is starting to dabble into hot sauce to the soccer mom to yeah, anybody you would see at a farmer's market.
it's cool, man. Yep. Farmers markets do love their habanero sauces. I'll find that. It's very funny. Um, wow. Yeah. And I would argue that hickory jalapeno is almost spicier than this, honestly. I think the
So
vinegar and the other one has a bit more of a bite to it. I want to give
that's
this
it.
another spin.
It's very strange because different peppers will hit people in different ways. Some people
It's
get
true.
jalapeno. I mean, as you know, the jalapeno has way less capsaicin in it than
Right.
a habanero, and the weights are almost identical. So maybe the jalapeno just affects you a little bit more.
I guess so. I did grow this batch of jalapenos once as two plants in one pot, which you're not really supposed to do
Yeah.
because like they fight over nutrients, but like the peppers it produced were super tiny. And since they're so super tiny and the plant had been fighting for nutrients, I had to water it every single day. It produced these tiny little jalapenos and they were red. They're like really, really tiny, and those lit me up like nothing has ever lit me up
Oh,
before. It was like may as well have been a Reaper for all I care. So no, that's really, really tasty, dude.
thank you.
Really tasty. Wow. And I
Um,
like that each one of these has like a little blurb on top and front. Actually, I'm gonna step back for a moment and let's read these blurbs. Um, so I'll read the hickory jalapenos first. When smoke and jalapeno peppers were first combined to make chipotle flavor, life was good. When we combined the chipotle with the sweetness of brown sugar, life got a whole lot better. I agree. That's really good. Oh man. All right. And then the Caribbean lime blurb. Take your taste buds on a flavorful trip with our Caribbean influenced hot sauce. The tanginess of lime mixed with the spice of habanero peppers on any dish are sure to keep your mouth watering for another bite. Also true. I think I've had about 4 spoons of that one. That's really good. I like both of those so far, man. Those are wow. Those are up there for me. That's flavor packed. All right. So we're moving on to the hatchet.
Hatch green chilies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is going to be, if you've ever been to New Mexico, it's going to be your red sauce. And it is great for anything Southwest Tex-Mex, really. Tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas. Um, the only thing I can really compare it to, if you have not been in New Mexico, is think of gourmet Taco Bell on steroids,
I love Taco Bell. I don't give a shit.
right?
Ta- Taco Bell fucking rules, man. Let's see. All right. Journey to the heart of the Southwest with the hatchet, crafted from the revered hatch chili pepper, grown exclusively in New Mexico's sun-soaked fields. This sauce embodies the region's fiery experience or fiery spirit. I'm reading too fast. Experience a smoky, earthy blend that echoes the vibrant taste of tradition. Hell yeah. Dude, again, hatch chilies are awesome.
They are.
I hate that I can only get them around here once a year. There's a huge hatch chili festival out there. I want to go
Yep.
to it
Me
someday.
too,
That'd be fun.
for sure.
All right, we'll give it a shake. Again, the coloration on this is awesome. Taking a look at it, looks about as thick as the first one. I can see chili flakes floating around it. Let's see. Oh, this one actually has a little bit longer of an ingredients list. Poblano pepper, very good. Water, orange juice, interesting. Distilled vinegar, onions, hatch chili, garlic, cayenne, paprika, lime juice, kosher salt, thyme, cumin, and xanthan gum. Okay. So yeah, it does sound like it's gonna be like Taco Bell sauce on crack, but way better. Oh yeah, I get that. That's fun. That's the cumin in it. Oh, that's so fun. All right, let's see, man. Orange juice. I've had a barbecue sauce with orange juice in it before. It was
Yeah,
really
that blew
good.
my mind. That was an ingredient that I was told to use in it. You'll definitely taste that it is not my typical stereotypical type of sauce. That this was influenced by others,
All right, let's give it a shot. I get that Tex-Mex vibe from it.
hmm
That's tasty. Hmm. I like it because it does kind of remind me of T-Bell, and I hate to say that. Like, I don't. Well, this tastes like fast food. It doesn't. It's reminiscent,
hmm
but it's thicker and it has more texture to it, and you can taste everything in it.
And heck, I mean, Taco Bell, they're one of the biggest fast food companies in the world, so they
They
must be
are.
doing something right.
Oh, of course.
So to make a more gourmet form of it, I mean, that was right up my alley
100%. That's really good, dude. That's fun. That's really fun. Trying to think. I would put that on a burrito any day, man.
for sure.
This one is definitely the spicier out of the 3 I've had so far.
Yep. More taking you up the line.
Yeah. Mm, that's good. Not as vinegary. No complaints.
Yep.
I love it, man. Really, really good stuff.
Thank you.
Happy I got the 4-pack, dude.
There you go. There you go.
All right. I have to cleanse my palate
Yeah.
because we're moving on to the Sweet Reaper. Mm,
Yeah, and usually if you come to Illinois, right now it's going through process authority approval, but do have one more in my lineup that is one of my regulars. It's called Umami. It's a
mm,
play on words like umami,
mhm.
um, but it hits your umami receptors. So it's like an A1 sauce meets Asian cuisine.
Yum.
That's my most complex sauce I've ever made. So it's got Asian pepper, Asian Szechuan peppercorns. It's got tamari, tamarind. It's got uh, pineapple as a sweetener. Um, yeah, it's awesome.
That's fun. Cool, man. All right. Here it is. The
Sweet
Sweet
Reaper.
Reaper. Ah,
And I grow my own Reaper peppers, and I smoke my own Reaper peppers. And as I said,
ooh.
when you smoke it, it tastes like a Parmesan cheese. You get hints of
Oh,
that.
yeah. All right. A bold fusion of smoky Carolina Reaper peppers with an underlying sweetness that will tantalize your taste buds. Sweet Reaper is a flavor explosion that starts strong and ends with a fiery finale. Get ready for a crave worthy addiction. Featuring Parmesan cheese. Just kidding. No Parmesan cheese involved, guys. Um, all right. Apple cider vinegar, tomatoes, bell pepper, onion, brown sugar, Carolina Reaper pepper, grown by Luke, kosher salt, and xanthan gum. So again, I liked the color. It is red. It is like reddish brown, definitely tomatoey. It's a looser looking sauce, but again, I can see pepper flakes in there, which is kind of scary. So let's give it a shake here, and then we will open her. Ah,
While this is a Reaper sauce, it's not meant to burn your face off. It is hot, very very hot, but it is not your burning your face off
okay.
pepperhead sauce.
I appreciate that. I used to be a spice chaser. Obviously, I don't give a shit. I'll eat spicy food. I'll eat the hottest thing you give me. Doesn't matter. I'll enjoy it unless it's the bomb. I hate the bomb.
Yeah.
Nothing redeeming there. But you know what I mean? Like, awesome. I like that you try to keep it flavorful for people.
Yep. Even my stupid hot, it's got a really good flavor. I haven't really dabbled into the extracts too much because I think they taste a little chemically to me, and I don't like the flavor. So I do whatever I can to make it as hot as possible without doing that.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. It is reminiscent of hickory jalapeno
Hmm.
because it is pretty much, yeah, pretty much the same thing, except it has Carolina Reaper,
And you'll see how much
right?
those peppers, the flavor changes the sauce.
I'm interested. All right, man. It smells really good. And give it a pull. Great consistency again. You nailed it, dude. You really kept a fine balance. You don't make things too thick that I can't pour it. You don't make them so loose that they're just spilling everywhere. So I have a pretty good little spoonful. Let's see it. Ooh, that is hot.
Yep,
Ooh, wow. I see what you're talking about though. The cheese.
for sure.
That's fucking weird. It's good. It's just like woo.
Yeah. So most people only use a couple drops. Like I'll put a couple drops in some pizza, breakfast burritos, eggs, or
Yeah,
nachos.
that is hot, bro.
It is.
And this one is obviously labeled super hot on the bottle. Um, wow. Yo, can you tell me what V32 means? Is that like how many versions? What was V32?
No, that I kind of keep under wraps.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't need to divulge that. Keep your secrets. All right. Let's try this again. It's really good. It tastes cheesy though. That's weird.
Hmm. My wife actually pointed that out to me when I was cooking in the
Mm,
house. Not only did I pepper bomb my family when I cooked it in the house, but she was like, the whole house stinks of Parmesan cheese, and she hates Parmesan cheese.
the sweetness, the smokiness, the tomatoes come out.
Hmm.
I like all these, man. This is hot. This is I hope someone lands on this tomorrow early on and is like, "What the fuck?" Oh, man. Mm. Wow, bro. Thanks for sending these to me.
Problem.
So while my face is burning off and I'm gonna drink some water, tell
Yeah.
us where we can find you and where we can buy your stuff or
Oh
where
yeah.
we'll see you next.
Or you can find me at www.popcapsfoods.com. Also on TikTok, which I'm getting pretty big in TikTok. So you can find me at Popcaps Foods on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Um, the next big show I think I have coming up is the Illinois Hot Sauce Expo in July. I have some size shows before then, but come out, have a good time, see some wrestling. My stupid hot sauce this year will be debuting. It's going to be called Hearts on Fire. So year one was all about me and the lethal injection, getting my name out there. Year two was all about you. It was about
Wow.
the three dog dare and seeing what you can put yourself through and the pride that you can bring on yourself. Year three is all about them. So my stupid hot sauce this year is going to be called Hearts on Fire, and it's going to be a sauce that parts of the proceeds are going to go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Hey, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, dude. You've been awesome. I really liked talking to you, and these sauces are fucking awesome.
Thank you
So,
so much.
anyone listening, check them out. They're great. They're going into my lineup. So, thanks again, man.
All
Peace
right.
out, Luke.
Yep. You have a good night.
You.